Hi, this is Yvonne from Scrapintherapy, and today I'm going to create a page in my art journal. I don't know yet what I'm going to create, but I think what I want to use is some of my watercolors that I have here, the Prima and some Jane Davenport, or a combination of that. And I also want to use a Prima stamp, and I'm going to try a technique on where I'm going to take some of the, I'm going to ink my stamp, I'm going to do second generation stamping, which, or even third, I'm not sure. I just want to find a faint outline with my stamp, so then I can color it in and it looks like I did the drawing instead of the stamp did the drawing. So I'm just going to play around. Let's see what comes out. I'm going to start with putting a nice coat of gesso on this sketchbook, because it is a sketchbook and the pages cannot take too much water or too much watercolors. So I'm going to prep it so that it allows me to use my watercolors on the page a little better than if I did it without prepping it. Okay, I'm going to let this dry and then I shall be back. So I decided to use this stamp. It's called Gina, and it's, I don't know what edition of it from Judy Nutting. I think it's maybe her 4th or 5th. I'm not sure. But if you want to get the stamps, you can go online. Photobella.com does have the whole set. So usually I go to Photobella and I get the whole set. So I'm going to go ahead and stamp her on there. And I'm going to use old paper because I want to use my watercolors to color her in. And I just don't want to see the ink, so I don't want to use black or anything like that. I think this will work fine. And old paper is very faint, and also when I use my watercolors, it will fade with all the other colors. Go ahead and press it down. And see, you can hardly see her. This is what I wanted. And I'm going to put this aside here. See, there's a faint outline. So I'm going to go ahead and start color her in. Let me look and see what colors I'm going to use. Definitely want to use my Odyssey and some skin tone. I think this has good skin tones. So I'll use some Davenport colors. And before you use your colors, it's always a good idea to mist these with a bit of water. So I'm going to pre-mist them. And let's put them this way. I'm going to do the same thing with these. I'm going to use Odyssey pre-mist. And I'm using, this is a silver brush and number 8 script liner. And I think this might be too much, so let me get a smaller one. Let's see. Yeah, maybe this one would be a little better. Okay. I do like Jane's watercolor set because they have more a neutral palette, a neutral tone. So they're good for skin tones and they're good for shading. And I do like it, and they're pretty nice. They're to me, now I'm not a watercolor artist, but to me they seem to be good quality and really do the trick for what I want them to do. One of the things you notice that I changed to a different brush. Now earlier on the video I showed you that I was planning to use the silver brush, and it's a natural bristle. It was pretty expensive watercolor brush. It's made with squirrel hairs. The only thing, it retains a lot of water. So when you first start out, sometimes having a brush that really absorbs a lot of water doesn't allow you to have the control that you need for watercolor. So I decided to go and use a more controlled brush, which is a synthetic brush, and that's what I'm using here. I am using this. These are the Mimics. That is a synthetic brush that it mimics natural hair. And I do love these because it has just the right amount of water retention without retaining too much water that it really doesn't allow me the control that I need. Now, because I use my Tim Holtz Distress ink and it is soluble with water, when you go over it with your watercolors, it really blends in and you don't really see the outline of the stamp. It looks more like you created this image, even though you know you didn't. But it's kind of fun. It's fun with using stamps and doing this technique and just practicing how to play with your watercolors, how to manipulate it so that way you have those nice different variation of tones, and how you can play with the bristles of your brush to really create that little fine point. And these are those mimic brushes that the Frugal Crafter recommended, and I do love these brushes. And look at that nice fine point. The other thing that you're going to see me doing is I do get some gray. I use gray, and then I go over the edges of my pants trim because I wanted to make it white. I wanted to make it look white. And the way that you do that is you have to give a little faint lining, or a little, you need to create a little shadow, and that will make your whatever you're wanted to appear white whiter. So that's what I did. Now this is my little doggy. I love this little dog stamp. She is so cute. She reminds me of my little dog that is just like her when we don't take her to the groomer. So my daughter do groom my dog, but every once in a while when we let her hair grow, she looks like this little cute little poodle. And I don't think this is a poodle. I don't know the type of dog it is, but it's a cute little dog. So I'm putting just more color on the edges and then fading it in, and that really makes her stand out. And see how this brush is just wonderful for this, for these detail. So now I moved to a bigger brush and I'm just laying down my ground, and I'm just using mostly I've been using just the Jane Davenport colors for my doll. And then now I'm going to go ahead and go over the sky, concentrating the color on the above layer of the sky, or the top sky, and then I fade it down. So I'm going to dry my page, and then I decided that I really wanted this little doggy to stand out. So I took my pencil and outlined my dog. And you're probably wondering, well, you could have had stamped the dog on a darker ink, or my image is darker, and that would have worked. The problem that I find when I do that is it doesn't look as realistic, or not really realistic. It just doesn't look, to me, it's just the black ink. If I use black ink, it's just too black. It just does not give me that beautiful, delicate feeling on my subject. When I go over with pencil, it just gives that right tone that it just makes everything kind of pop and not be over the top. So now I'm going to go and look for a face. I created these transparency with all my stamps, and that helps me go ahead and kind of measure which of these stamps I need for my doll. I found the one that I wanted. And I'm going to use some Archival ink, and I'm going to use black Archival ink to stamp my face in. And after I stamp the face in, I'm going to go over and color her lips. And I'm also going to color some of her cheeks. And I'm going to go ahead and show you up close how it looks. It really looks good. See, I love these stamps, and I'll put the link to these stamps the description below. And I've gotten all 3 of the sets. They have 3 sets made especially for paper dolls, and your Prima dolls and your Cricket dolls and all kinds of dolls. So I got all 3 sets because I just couldn't decide which of them I wanted. So now I'm putting the little leash for my little dog. And the date that I created this, yeah, I'm a little behind on my videos, but I put the date that I created this. Thought that it needed something there, so I decided to use the stamp that came with it. It says, "The ocean makes her heart sing." And I thought that looked cute. And this kind of looks like a little ocean. She's taking the dog out for a walk on the beach. So I decided to use that. So this concludes this page. So I hope you liked this video, and thank you for watching. Bye now.